Well, folks, I believe I have found the mother of all bubbles. Yes, the mother of all bubbles, and no one, and I mean absolutely no one, is talking about this right now. I went out in the field yesterday and took a lot of video proof of this bubble, okay? This is not stock market related, although it kind of can be a bit. It's not really real estate related, although it could be a little bit. But that's the bubbles people talk about. Oh, stocks were in a bubble. Real estate's in a bubble, right? That still needs to be popped. Crypto is in a bubble that has obviously, been popped in a major way. But there's something that's so gargantuan out there. It's I think bigger than everything, and no one's even like paying attention to this. And I think over the next essentially 6 months, everybody's going to be paying attention to this, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, how did we not see this massive bubble that is essentially going on? So I had to take video of all this. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. I just want to show you guys kind of what's going on in the market here today. I hope you enjoy this as always, and especially me going out there and getting you guys some video proof of what's going on out there, okay? Lumber continues to crash. There's a 3-month chart of lumber, now down almost 55% in 3 months for lumber. Who would have thunk it, okay? Chinese stocks, it's risk off today. That means Chinese stocks are not going to do well. JD down 6%, NEO down 6%, BABA down right around 6% as well. If we go ahead and pull a big tech here today, yeah, it's not a good day for big tech. Shopify down almost 4%. Facebook getting back down to those lows again when you see it in the 180s. Oh boy. Netflix still hovering below $200. Amazon's falling. You kind of got that spike up from the stock split. And we're going to touch on Amazon a little later in this video as well, because they're in relation to this massive bubble that's going on out there right now. But as far as Amazon, stock's a great value for long-term investors right now, but it doesn't mean it can't get hit more short-term, obviously, and especially if the economy's pushing into recession, it will hit Amazon's numbers. We already seen it, honestly, the past quarter or two. We'll see it more over the next couple quarters, but as a long-term investor, obviously, it's a great value. PayPal is another one of those stocks that continues to get hit. Apple continues to get hit. It went down to the below 140 just a few weeks ago. We'll see if it tests back down there. I would not be surprised at all if it does. Cathie Wood stocks getting a hit all today. TARK down about 8.6%, which is a 2x leverage on Cathie Wood's main ARK ETF there. So yeah, that's down over 4%. If it's risk off, like Cathie Wood stocks aren't going to do well. That's just the way it is, right? FinTech. I think this is very important for everybody watching this video. This is very important to see what's going on here. Okay. Look at Affirm today, down 9%. Look at Square today, down over 8%. Look at Upstart today, down 7.6%. Look at SoFi, Coin. Look at Hood. It's all Hood. If Hood goes to the sevens, guys, this is a stock that will essentially be trading under what they have cash on the balance sheet. And when you look at these fintechs, as crazy as it is, right? I think some of these stocks actually represent some pretty darn attractive values, but no one wants to own these sorts of stocks if you're going into recession. That's why you just can't find a bid for these stocks. You can't. And it's like how do you not find a bid for these stocks anywhere? If you're going into a recession, just no one wants to hold those stocks until you're like halfway through the recession or toward the back half of the recession. Then everybody starts bidding those up again. But it's amazing. Like, it's absolutely amazing. And so if the market goes lower, unfortunately, as crazy as it sounds, these stocks will go lower. If Hood went, let's just imagine for a moment, if Hood went to the sixes. If Hood went to the sixes, that company would be, the entire market capitalization would be less than the amount of cash they have on the balance sheet. But that's a market for you right now. We're just in that vicious of a market. SoFi is back in the sixes. Is it going to the fives? Well, send the NASDAQ down a couple more percent and SoFi will be back in the fives. That's just the way it goes. Affirm, after that last quarter, they actually reported a great last quarter, but that stock's going back down to 52-week lows. Literally, if the NASDAQ went down 2 or 3% tomorrow, that's back to 52-week lows. It happens like that, okay? The retail trader investor stocks list that I have, just everything's down, except for Tesla. Tesla's holding up. Tesla can be weird late in the week, though, because so many people play options in Tesla. So sometimes late in the week, you can't really trust the short-term move that Tesla makes, essentially, because there's so much going on with options activity. So it's something to kind of keep in mind with late week moves there. Travel stocks, everything's getting devastated here today. CCL's under 12 now. CCL's under 12. Jeez, man. Like, they're just tempting me to try to buy CCL again. Like, come on, man. Like nothing's worse than what their business was when it was shut down. Ah, man, they're trying to tempt a man. That's all I can say about that. But obviously fuel prices being insane is not good for any of the travel players, all right? Now, if we pull up a heat map, it's more like a cold map here today. Obviously, a lot of red out there. A lot of red. Not one of those insane days where it's like, oh my gosh, this is devastating. But yeah, a lot of red out there here today. Before we get into the mother of all bubbles, I want to make sure we talk about my partner, FTX US, which guys might have heard of. Partnered also with Steph Curry, Tom Brady, folks like that. Basically, they have fees that are among the cheapest of any crypto exchange out there. They are the best and most trusted crypto exchange out there in the world. And basically, you can set up your account so if you want to do recurring buys on a weekly basis. So let's say you wanted to buy like $20 of Bitcoin each week or something like that. You can easily set that up so you don't have to worry about it and you just buy each and every week. So it's pretty darn amazing. And right now what they have is they have basically two specials going on. One is essentially every time you buy or make a trade over $10, you get free crypto, which is pretty darn cool. And also right now, if you sign up with my link, which is pinned comment down there, and use my referral code, Holy Smokas, you can get up to $100 in free crypto, which is pretty darn awesome when you set up an account and make a deposit through there. So that's pretty darn awesome, guys. Make sure you check that out. That will be pinned comment down there. And also FTX US is now getting into stocks as well, which is pretty darn cool. So they're going to try to change the game when it comes to stocks. Alrighty, let's get into the mother of all bubbles, okay? So to explain this mother of all bubbles, 2009 through 2019, e-commerce hit major scale, right? This was the moment when, everybody recognized like Amazon's made it. Prior to the Great Recession, Amazon was looked at as, it's a high growth company, but they burn a bunch of money, and no one really respected Amazon on this like pedestal. It was still all about Walmart and some of the big traditional retailers. And basically, after the Great Recession, Amazon started to be recognized as the next giant corporation. It started being valued as that, right? And the reason being is their sales and their numbers always were just absolutely amazing. And so e-commerce in general, right, took off. Shopify, obviously, right? And Shopify stock has come down like 80% from its highs. But, companies like Shopify took off. E-commerce in general took off. And this was helped by social media, by smartphones, all those sorts of things. And then obviously things like 2-day delivery from Amazon, all that stuff helped massively push e-commerce, right? So basically warehouse needs went insane during that time. You need to build a lot of dang warehouses, right? And so warehouse builders, REITs, they all made bank, right? A lot of construction workers obviously have, been put in this industry over the past 10, 15 years, building all these warehouses, right? And the money's been good. If you build these warehouses and you rent them out to companies like Amazon, because sometimes they'll own them, but sometimes Amazon will rent these out from other companies, right? And same thing with Walmart and all these other companies, right? Not all the time they want to actually own a fulfillment center, a warehouse, whatever you want to call it. And so all these companies have been building, like they've been making bank, right? Then we get Rona out of nowhere, right? And e-commerce goes absolutely insane in 2020 and 2021. Just absolutely insane, like to levels we've never even, thought it could be that high, right? Stimulus helps the economy go beast mode. And we had so many different forms of stimulus. It was stimulus payments. It was obviously, like the things like they would pay for your workers. If you had a certain amount of workers, they'd give you money. Obviously there was some, sketchy stuff that went out there that some people, said different things and they got the money from the government. So nonetheless, it was just a ridiculous money pump out there, right? Then you drop the interest rates through the floor to the lowest levels we've pretty much ever seen in history. And this allows a situation where all of a sudden, all these companies that are building warehouses are like, build. Interest rates are insanely low. And on top of that, look at e-commerce growth. It's insane. We need to build everything in sight. And so basically what's happened over the past 18 and 24 months is every single company that builds warehouses, every single construction company and everything has been like, we need to build as many warehouses as fast as possible everywhere you possibly can, right? But we have major issues going on, okay? Here's the problem. Amazon for this upcoming quarter is expected to have 4% revenue growth. If they only have 4% revenue growth, well, technically 3.9%, if they only have 4% revenue growth, that means likely their e-commerce business is negative because their advertising business is almost guaranteed to grow every quarter. AWS, Amazon Web Services, is almost guaranteed to grow every single quarter. So basically what that's telling you is the e-commerce business is likely going to be negative. which we pretty much almost never, ever seen from Amazon before, where their e-commerce business went negative, meaning it's shrinking, not growing, okay? If Amazon's feeling that, imagine what other e-commerce companies are feeling. It's like 500 times worse, right? If Amazon, the big dog, is feeling that. And so this is an absolute disaster, okay? Amazon, in the previous year's quarter, right? This quarter that they're expected to do 3.9% growth. In the same quarter last year, they did 27% revenue growth. What about the previous year? Well, they absolutely blew numbers out of the water the previous year. They did, this was in Q2 2020, okay? Not only did they blow EPS out of the water, but they beat revenue by over $7 billion. Over $7 billion. So nonetheless, e-commerce has been insane, right? And all these warehouse companies have been like, dude, we got to build. But all that is ending, okay? And even into late last year in 2021, in the beginning of this year, you saw stuff like this out of the New York Times. Companies are grabbing warehouses with 50% more space than they need just to increase infrastructure so they have it, okay? So companies hoarding these warehouses because it's like, well, growth is so insane, we just got to get as many warehouses as possible. And simultaneously, you have all these companies that build warehouses just building like insane, like you're about to see here. And you've got to see the stuff with your own eyes to really like understand how bad this is and how big this bubble really is that's going on, okay? Meanwhile, this is all happening on the DL. Amazon quietly axed millions of square feet of warehouse space. Over the last 3 months, Amazon canceled plans for nearly 10 million square feet of warehouse space, shelving plans for more than a dozen fulfillment centers and delivery facilities around the United States. This came very quietly. Unless you're really, really up on your stuff, you had no clue this was going on, right? 10 million square feet. Who knows if there's even more numbers coming, right? We don't know. Like, that's not a small number there. There could be potentially a lot more that we don't even know beneath the surface, right? And we heard in the last conference call, management basically hinting around to, overhired, but, too many warehouses, a lot of different things. Because they were growing 20, 30+%, and then all of a sudden e-commerce might potentially not even grow. That's like, literally, it's like the end of the world. And so, for a company like that. And so here we are in this moment in time, right? And I'm going to show you guys this in full here, okay? Let me move this over, and I'll show you guys some of these videos here that you're going to be absolutely blown away by to see, okay? So this is the first one here, okay? So all what you're looking at here, that is all going to be warehouses. They're prepping all that land for warehouses. This is in Phoenix, Arizona, okay? Now, I'm going to show you so many videos here, and this is just a fraction, just a small fraction of what's actually going on, okay? And I mean a very small fraction. But look at this. They're just clearing out all this land because interest rates have been insanely low, and they're like, oh man, everybody needs warehouses. We need to build these warehouses like crazy. I mean, look at this is just, it's insane. Like, it's insane. Just warehouses on warehouses on warehouses on warehouses. They're so far overbuilding, as you'll see from these videos, that this is going to take years to fulfill all this. And I mean years. I think a lot of these probably won't be filled for, at the minimum, maybe 2 years in the future. But I'm thinking you're talking more to 3 to 5 years to fill these. And I think eventually a lot of these will be filled, but it's going to take a long time. And I'm looking at all these warehouses. We haven't even technically entered the recession yet. And I'm looking at all these completed warehouses that are just empty. They're just completely empty, man. They're completed, they're ready to rock and roll, and there's no one. And we haven't even technically entered the recession yet. Never mind, you have companies canceling warehouses. I mean, look at this. It's just warehouses on warehouses everywhere. I mean, just everywhere. It's incredible. And this is going to take years to fill these up. And when you understand the scale of these properties, it's insane, man. It's absolutely insane. This all back here all brand new warehouses, all those brand new warehouses, massive facilities that no one is occupying and probably won't be occupying for, at least several years into the future. Look at this. They're beautiful. If you want to think a warehouse is beautiful, but it's not good, man. I'm telling you, this is bad. This is bad news. These babies are ready to rock and roll. They're ready to go. But who the heck needs one of these right now? Oh, I had to take a picture of this sign right here. They're hoping, they're probably praying like Amazon, Walmart, somebody come bail us out. 388,000 square feet for lease right there. 388,000 square feet for lease right there, okay? This is a brand new warehouse going up here. These don't have tenants. They're built on spec. They're completely built on spec. And when the market's been so hot like it has for warehouses, fulfillment centers, these sorts of things for quite some time, and interest rates are insanely low. It's like build. And so these projects were started a year ago plus. And now they're going to sit vacant for years. Literally, they're going to sit vacant for years until finally Amazon grows into them, or some other e-commerce companies end up growing into them. But it's going to be, it's not happening soon. It's happening a little down the road. Let's put it that way, man. Kind of like when we got way overbuilt with real estate. Obviously, I lived in Phoenix, Arizona during the great financial crisis, right? And we got way overbuilt on homes. Eventually, those homes were moved into, but we had to go through about 4 or 5 years of pain. Massive amounts of short sales, foreclosures, homes sitting vacant, squatter situations. And what we're seeing right now in this warehouse space, in my opinion, is a very similar phenomenon. It's just with warehouses rather than homes. And look at these facilities. And then think about this for a moment, right? Think about all the equipment that was needed to build these warehouses. All the Caterpillar equipment, right? Think about all the construction workers that had jobs building these warehouses. I can tell you, after this year, they ain't going to need to build... Oh, this is a nice jet. By the way, man, they were doing some crazy stuff out at Luke, flying those planes. I think they watched Top Gun too many times, the new Top Gun. Holy smokes, man. But think about all the workers that have been building all these warehouses and all the equipment and the capital. Look at this one. This is crazy. They're going to build one here, 2.5 million square feet. 2.5 million square feet. Good luck, man. Good luck when all these other guys are empty. Good luck is all I have to say about that. Oh, I found the fire. Okay, there was like a brush fire or something down there. That was kind of crazy. And then I thought I was done taking photos of warehouses. And this is just a small amount just on the west side. Like I could go all over Arizona and just take you to. I just saw this off of the side of the highway. I thought I was done filming these, and then I was like, oh, there's more massive warehouses that are just completely unfulfilled and just sitting there, completely. Just waiting for hopefully a tenant or somebody. But think about the amount of workers that went into building these. All those jobs are going to be gone by the end of this year. There's going to be no need to build warehouses for years in any meaningful way. I'm talking until probably 2024 at the earliest, but probably 2025, 2026. You're not going to need to build any warehouses. When I see how much is under construction right now and how much was just constructed, and no one's at. There's another one. I thought I was done, and it's just another one after another one after another one. And these babies are going to sit vacant. This is the mother of all bubbles, and no one even sees this or recognizes it. And when you see the amount of money that's being spent on these fulfillment centers, warehouses right now, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, are we in a massive, massive bubble? And all that money that has been sloshed out there, there could be a lot of bankruptcies in that space. I would not be surprised at all in terms of the companies that build some of these properties and are holding that debt, because they're not going to have tenants, and they're not going to have tenants for likely years. It's going to take quite some time. And if we go into a major recession, that's going to delay the whole process even more, if that's the situation. And like I said, with the jobs, like no one's going to need to build warehouses for a long dang time after this year. I can promise you that. And so all those jobs, all these construction workers have had building those, goes away, right? So then you got to find something else. Well, simultaneously, real estate also, all those jobs are going away, or a lot of them are going away starting in 2023, because home buyers are starting to dry up like it's nobody's business because interest rates are going up. Plus, you had a bunch of people already moved. Plus, you have consumer confidence going through the floor because people are scared. which means if people aren't confident, they're not buying new homes. So you're going to see this summer home sales tank that's already starting, but you're going to really see it this summer. And by the end of the summer, it's going to be undeniable that real estate's in a bad spot. And then, so this whole construction boom we've had, unfortunately, is on its last leg. It's the 9th inning, and the game's about to be over for a while. And that's unfortunate, and I think it's just worth paying attention to so everybody can be aware of these sorts of things. Because if you're aware, then you can deal with it. You can understand it. But if you're not aware of it, then you're just, you're not educated on the matter, right? And believe me, this whole warehouse situation, 6 months from now, everybody's going to be talking about it. It's going to be on mainstream, everything. Just remember who broke the news first, okay? Just remember that, guys. Much love as always. I appreciate you joining me. I hope you appreciated me getting you some real world, stuff out there. And also make sure you get the deal from FTX US, which is pinned comment down there, and get up to $100 in free crypto. And have a great day.